Let's get real for a minute. Most transformations flop. It's not because people are lazy or allergic to change. It's because the whole thing is usually forced from them. Welcome to Scaling with Agility. I'm Yuval Yeret. I'm a management consultant, has been helping people navigate transformations, whether it's agile product or AI transformation recently. I've seen way too often the organic pilots that create an island of transformation that works great. But then someone declares, we're going to scale this, and it becomes an imposed mandate. The result is way too often, or almost predictably, resistance, box checking, and a whole lot of transformation theater where nothing meaningful changes. You might see vanity indicators like people trained and certified. And, I've been part of that in the past. It's a comfortable life, training and certifying people and helping people install tool templates like Jira, rolling out a shiny new framework. But when you scratch the surface, it's the same old organization. If we look for an example at the typical agile transformation, you would have things that are called stories, but they're actual technical slices that teams use to manage their work, and they still prefer to do everything that they need in a certain area before they go up for air. You might see people called product owners, but it's actually engineers and project managers that have been told, you are now the product owner. But at best, they own technical solutions and integrations, not customer outcomes. You meet these people in training workshops, and they have a lot of good questions around, we're not really empowered to own a customer-centric outcome. We can't really make a change in a product that our customers, even internal customers, care about. So these people are really frustrated with the guidance that we're trying to give them. So what's happening here is that this organization, because it's mandated to transform at a pace, people just slap on the new names, the new framework, call it Scrum, call it Safe, call it whatever, as lipstick on a pig, and hope it will improve some. Hope through some magic, they won't have as many dependencies. And the spoiler is this approach doesn't change much. And at this point, the leaders start to think that this whole transformation is a sham, that Agile is a sham, that AI is a sham, that Lean is a sham, whatever. And the search for the next big fix begins. Here's what I found. Sustainable change doesn't come from mandates. Maybe faster change comes from mandates, but it's not sustainable. Sustainable change comes from treating transformation like an internal market. Instead of inflicting change, you invite leaders and their teams to adopt new ways of working. You're trying to sell it to them. Think about Jeffrey Moore's crossing the chasm approach. There will be early adopters. There will be laggards. You will have these people in the organization. There would be people that will jump to try your new approach. Typically, by the way, those are the people that tried it in the pilot and made it work despite the fact that it wasn't fully ready yet. When you take the thing that worked for these people and copy and paste it to people that are the mainstream in your organization, that are looking for working solutions, they don't want to find everything on their own. When you apply the solutions from the early adopters to the mainstream, things don't work that well. And when you try to accelerate, when you try to inflict this change, then it's even worse for these people. They're forced to use a solution that's not working well for them. Whenever in my engagements, we stopped enforcing these frameworks and started showing teams how these practices could actually help, when we help them through a why conversation, why might this be useful? How might it be useful? When's the right timing for it? How might we adapt it to our needs? When I started dealing or coached a transformation team to deal with each different group in the organization. Like I work with a new client. I cannot force a new client to do something. All I can do is help them steer, help them navigate through what is it that we might want to do. When we started to have these conversations internally, adoption took hold because teams started to apply practices and patterns that resonated for them, that they had agency around using. You might think about it as treating the agile journey with agility or treating any sort of transformation with agility. Empowering people, orienting around outcomes, not rituals, giving people the optionality to figure out their own ways, aligning on the principles. What does success look like? But not forcing people to use a certain set of practices. So here are some principles to think about if you're tired of this transformation theater that's so common around us. Focus on outcomes, not rituals. Talk about outcomes, lead through outcomes, interest people in outcomes, not the rituals. The rituals might be useful, but they're not why you're doing something. And don't do it as a ritual. Do it because it's useful. Even the language of rituals is creating the wrong mindset. You want to consider whether it's useful for you and do it if it's useful. And be better and better at it, build consistency and reps around it if it's useful, not because somebody told you it's useful. You want to really think about how to organize around value. The fastest path to apply an agile transformation is to just paste it on the legacy org chart, but that typically doesn't allow you to deliver value. It just reinforces dependencies and creates the need for more and more structure. So if you have a scaled up organization with a lot of teams, the pattern that you might want to start with is to descale in order to create an environment where you bring together real product teams that are able to deliver value, give them the decision rights that they need, the resources that they need, and give them the context, the intent, the clarity on what is their purpose, what are they focused on. And that's where outcomes comes into play. Structure your risky, high potential investments like experiments. That's core to agility, but every transformation is risky. It has high potential, but it also has risk of, is this the right thing for us? Are we thinking about it the right way? So structure your transformation as an experiment. What's the hypothesis? What's the riskiest assumption in this hypothesis? How are we going to discover? And you might say, we've done a pilot, and the pilot has proven that this works. Now we're gonna roll it out. But again, at that point, you go back to the desirability challenge. It was maybe desirable by a small group, probably early adopters or people who had a very, very tough problem. You probably still need to validate that this change is desirable for others. And the way to test desirability is not force people to do this. It's to market it to them, to sell it to them, not force them. In an upcoming episode, we'll go upstream to identify one of the root causes of this transformation theater. But until then, you can ask yourself, are you running a transformation or just putting on show? If you're curious to explore an alternative approach, you can check out my Scaling with Agility free email crash course. Thank you for listening in today. I hope you'll join me again for the next episode of the Scaling with Agility podcast. Bye for now.